Seneca Street neighborhoods and the side streets up and down. And so if you're able to do several things, like for instance, find these guys who are very good, they're South Buffalo guys, and they buy the house for a pretty good price, they then convert it into a beautiful one-family home, and then they're able to sell it, they do well, people coming in do well, it's a win-win. So that's one. Habitat for Humanity is another, I'm working with them, they called me today, they are definitely coming to South Buffalo. And then third is AmeriCorps, which I was with the Carpenters Union today. We're trying to get a grant through the Department of Labor. It's a grant that AmeriCorps will carry, but they have to have involvement with not with labor, but with an organization that can help build. So there's all the things you're saying are things that I'm trying to work with others to do. Yes, sir.
Not to upstage, but if I could have 2 minutes, there's a few things. First of all, Kearns, Mark, they got rid of the flood insurance. The flood insurance is what killed the property values over here off Seneca. I don't know if you know that.
Yeah.
Murdered it. People were paying $700 in banks. Fought it for 20 years. Finally, Mickey took up the ball, and with Mark, they got rid of it. So this property is more valuable now. Unfortunately, what's happened in the interim between the flood insurance property went down. Okay? We have to turn that perception around. All right? Second of all, and I would ask you, Mark, and I've been trying to get the realtors to do it, trying to get people to do it, this place has got to be advertised. Okay, it's got to be advertised. We have 2 golf courses. We have a hospital. We have a college. We have high schools. I mean, any place else in the world, these houses would be worth $200,000. You got to get some government funding to advertise this, and also advertise a program where the young coppers and firemen can buy the house and get the $10,000 stipend to move in. Okay?
Yeah.
I mean, nobody's advertising it, no matter how hard you try. Where are you going to buy a house?
My house was, because I told him, I wrote the script.
Yeah, but I mean, with the area you got to advertise. Where else are you going to get a house for $20,000? I mean, a nice house. Okay, and the flood insurance is gone. 5% interest, your payment's going to be next to nothing. Lastly, I'm going to ask you, big problem now, as you see Seneca Street, you got drug deals going on, and I'm going to bring this issue up one more time. I think I've given it to you a couple times, I've given it to 10 other politicians 9 times. My R-side idea, rid South Buffalo of drugs, and it was a program designed to make it real concise and get off the floor. It's a tip line with results. Okay, and what I mean by that is, everybody knows who, or they see somebody drug dealing or something like that, they call the tip line. Okay, this young lady here could be answering the phone because of call forwarding now. Nobody knows it's going to her. When she gets done with her shift, she could call forward it to her. And what happens is, once the tip's in, there's 1 or 2 officers just dedicated to Seneca Street. I'll give you a copy of it again, Mark. Out of 750 officers, you should be able to designate 2 officers just to follow up the leads on the drug dealing on Seneca Street, okay? Then what you do, you have an internet site. So if I call in a tip, I can go on there in the next couple of days and find out anonymously what happened with that tip. You know, if I type in my number, or you go in and you look, this tip number 1, 2, 3 was unfounded. Tip number 2, 3, 4 resulted in arrest. Tip number 5, 8, 9 is under investigation. That gives the community ownership in the police enforcement and a voice and feedback. And I think right now that's very important over here, because I go over, you know, I got drug dealing in the laundromat and around the laundromat. I throw them out all the time, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I'm going to wind up getting involved with one of these guys, and I don't want to do that. The easy way is, everybody sees what's going on. The problem is, you got the patrol officers. You know, you need somebody like Kevin Veith or somebody like that that's dedicated to that. He's answerable to his captain. Okay, 1 or 2 guys. They follow up on the tips and they do it. Once you start doing that, and once you start advertising the area, especially to the young, I mean, there should be something in the academy, and you put on a fire group now. You know. I know they have the designated areas now, and Wyan was one of them. I just sold a house on Wyan to a school teacher, and she got 10 grand. that's great, but I think the whole Seneca Street area should be eligible for something like that. And you entice the young firemen and young policemen, they have to live here. You advertise it, the fact that we got 2 golf courses, a school, Olympic-sized swimming pool, a skating rink, I mean, hospitals.
State-of-the-art high
You can
school.
go on and on and on. I mean, this area should sell for like $200,000.
Largest ER in western New York,
It's
opening up.
not being advertised, okay? It's not being assisted, and you gotta get this tip program in. You have to, because now they're just walking around, you got the cameras, nobody's looking at the
They think they
cameras.
own the neighborhood. They're
You know,
just-
also, do you realize that they've got their scanners, and the ones on Hayden Street tell me, you can call all you want, tip line, we got our scanners, we know when they're coming down.
Well, yeah,
Well,
the
now
tip-
with- now with the
but
new
the tip
channels, they
line-
can't get to.
The tip line would not be over the radio at all.
Well, that's what
They
they
call
told
it,
me.
you would answer the phone for 4 hours. When you're done answering the phone, you dial *72, and you transfer it to her for 4 hours.
You know,
And
they-
when she's done, she dials *72 and transfers it over to her. And you just take the tip, and then you give them to the police the next day, and if we have 1 or 2 officers that had to follow up on them, they can assess the tip, refer it to the proper authorities, either the Erie County Narcotics Squad or the Buffalo. If they need more help, they could get it. And there's a lot of other things to my program, but I've been putting this forth like 10 years, and it's just, people have to have ownership of their law enforcement. They have to have ownership, and the only way you're going to do it is offer them a venue to complain and feedback when they do complain. Okay, and if it's a big tip, maybe you could even have a reward system, but I don't even think people want that. I think when I see a drug dealer, I call up and say, there's a kid there here, I'm going to send you a picture even on a text. That's him, he's dealing drugs here every day. And a copper comes down and takes care of it, or they can look on the internet the next day and see something was done. I think that's the reward.
That's the reward.
Yeah,
Put the drug dealers away as the reward.
Thank you.
We were told in our Black Club meetings, in meeting with Tony LeBrun, if there's any problems at all, to call Tony LeBrun.
Yeah.
This is what he wants us to do. I just wanted to check on one thing.
Yes.
Just a clarification on this project scope. Are we going to have trash cans like at the corner of our streets or whatever? Because it isn't listed
In
here.
the program, in the book, there is a picture of what the receptacle looks like. And the receptacles are very similar to what is in East Aurora. When Simon was talking about advertising, I understood what he was saying. In my view, the best advertisement of Seneca Street are the 10,000 cars that drive by and see a stunning streetscape. They see a streetscape, they see not many